before we get started on this, just for the people that have tuned in and are following along on the website, Milt and I approach things a little bit differently. So before we get rolling on this, I'm going to start by just my 2 cents and what makes health important to me. And it's basically the critical part to me for this is, and it's my favorite question to ask people when I get in front of them live, is if I was to ask you or ask people how many people know their weight, most people would raise their hands saying, I know it, and that's the number that they go by for their health. What I want people to be doing, and from this point on, if you're just getting started in health and wellness, or if you're looking to get to be your healthiest, the question that you want to ask yourself on a regular basis is, what's my blood pressure? What's my resting heart rate? How do I feel about my health? So we're going to get people moving away from that fixation on weight and more into health and wellness. That being said, I know that there was a lot of people that really, they're the type A, that the numbers people, and they enjoy very much getting their stats and their facts. So as we talk and as we go through this, we're going to have that motivational standpoint to get people up, get them going, get them excited about their health. Because that's something I think that Milt and I both share in this, is the excitement to get more humans healthy. And that conversation is going to have a few different standards, I guess, or markers. So if you hear different conversation points, like if you hear Milt say something that sounds different than me, it's because the two of us are very different in our approaches, but very much the same in our goal of getting people healthy. So that's what I'm going to say to start this thing off. And now we get into the parts of this that is, for me, I'm actually going to get a free education here with everybody. Milt, I love the fact that I don't think we've ever had a conversation that didn't come back to exercise at some point. And I think with you, it's amazing how much health is a part of your life. So let's break that down. Why is health so important to you?
Well, I think first of all, the only difference between you and I, Jordan, is our hairstyles. I think that's the only thing that's difference between you and I. But I mean, it's like you say, it's a part of my entire life. It was when I was playing, when I was an athlete, it was definitely a bigger part of my life. But my life is all about being healthy every single day. If I'm an athlete or not, I want to continue being able to have a certain lifestyle where I can move around, I can be active, I can do all these things. And if you're not healthy, if you're not taking care of your body, or the tempo, as I call it, it's going to be very difficult to live that healthy lifestyle. People always say, what can I do today to live a healthy lifestyle? And I tell them, it's not just about today. It's about today and the rest of your life. You have to continue to take care of your body and live that healthy lifestyle from the time you're born to the time you're in the grave. So it's all about every single day. What can you do?
Yeah, no, and I love it because it is every single day. And that's something I don't think people realize. They really set up everything as, I'm going to do this diet right now, or I'm going to jump into this boot camp. But it's the daily activities. And if you're tuned in and listening right now, the things that you do day to day will dictate your health. It's those daily things that you can change up. You can do the boot camp for fun. You can try a different diet, or do something crazy that way if it's something that you want to try, where you sit down with a registered dietitian, or you just try something new. Those are fun things to kind of keep your interest, but it's the daily living that's critical. And this is something where, Milt, I know that you are a very dedicated is the word I'm going to use. Dedicated human. You're very um, sure of your actions, and you're somebody that plans out most things. So when you start your day, when you wake up bright and early, what are your health goals for the day?
Well, first of all, there's something you touched on, and you said diet. Diet is something I don't believe in. When people say, "Well, I'm going on a diet," that in my opinion, I don't believe in that. I believe in lifestyle changes. Because if you're gonna just go on a diet, so that means, okay, I'm gonna go on a diet for 3 months, 6 months. I'm gonna lose a certain amount of weight or whatever, and then I'm gonna go back to my normal eating habits. That's not how it should be. You should have lifestyle changes where you're totally, if your diet is bad or if what your eating habits are bad, you totally change your eating habits. And people always ask me, what's the one most important thing I can do to become healthy? It's not exercise, it's changing what you eat. You could exercise and burn 1,000 calories or 2,000 calories a day, and you can put that back on in 5 or 10 minutes if your eating habits are bad. So when I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing I think about, my eating habits. What's the first thing I'm going to put in my body? Because that first meal in the morning is the most important meal you can put in your body, because that's the energy you're going to use for the rest of the day. So when I wake up in the morning, that's what I think about. What am I going to put in my body? What I'm going to put in my body to allow me to have a great day. And if you do that, I mean, your day starts off on the right foot.
Now I'll throw something into this too, because it's funny. This is where expert opinions or seeking out experts is critical, and this is something where um, if you're watching and you're somebody that has benefits, use those benefits. You can go and communicate with a registered dietitian. So for myself, I've actually found um, that I fast most mornings. Now, I'm not going to tell somebody to go do intermittent fasting. I'm not going to tell them to do that. Sit down with a registered dietitian. So it's funny because this is again two different ways to get healthy. Is one, I start my day off by waking up, big glass of water, and I don't eat until 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon because it works for me and for
Right.
what that keeps me on track. And so this is I think that for me, and I know the the disciplined kind of lifestyle is having the plan. So it's kind of I don't wake up and have Lucky Charms because they're just not in the house, even though I love them and I would eat them if they were here. But so
Right.
this is, I think it's like you said, the lifestyle. It's getting to know yourself. You sit down and intermittent fasting. I started doing that and came up with that as something that worked for me after communicating with. I'm very fortunate to have worked at the University of Manitoba, so I got to sit down with PhDs in human nutritional science, and they said, "Well, this is what you would want to do if
Mm-hmm.
that's your route." So my, I guess, advice to people would be that the thing that you want to do is make sure that the decision you're making isn't from your understanding of a book you read
Right.
and one book and then you did it and you lost weight. It's about getting an expert and making a plan. So you've got your daily goal of starting off with food. What do you like for exercise and movement for the day?
Well, and one thing I want to touch on, you just talked about losing weight. People think if you're losing weight that you're actually getting healthier. That's not always the case. I mean, you can lose weight by just not eating or whatever. So it's not about always losing weight. It's about getting healthier. I know you touched on that before. But as far as exercising, the key is just to keep moving. It's to keep moving, always doing something, always moving. You always hear the examples of people saying, I'm going to park, further away from the grocery store or from the shopping center or from work. I'm going to take the steps. I'm going to move. You got to keep moving. Go for long walks. Do something outside. Plant a garden. Do something outside. Mow your lawn. Do something where you're always moving. It doesn't have to be extreme sports. You don't have to go out for a 10-mile run or anything like that. The objective is to always move and keep your body moving, keep the blood flowing, keep the heart pumping. Because when you do that, your muscles doesn't shut down. Because as you get older, if you stop moving, eventually your body says, I guess you don't need me anymore, and it shuts down. And then it's very difficult to get it going again. But from the time you're able to move, you want to keep moving. Of course, you won't be able to do as much as you could when you were younger. And maybe some people are at a point where they haven't started moving and are frustrated. But you have to start moving right now. There's never a better day than to start doing it than today. You got to start moving. You got to change your diet, and I promise you, your life will be so much better.
Well, and I think that's it, is when you look at it from a daily perspective. So this is why I'm asking about these questions about what do you do in a day, because yours is the same as mine. Um, my next thing for a task list today is to take the dogs for a walk, and that's going to be a 90-minute thing. It's it is setting up my day in such a way that there are times where, unfortunately, I've got a job, I've got things to do in my day where I'm sitting, and there is a timeline where that task has to get done, and that means I'm going to sit for 2 or 3 hours. In that 2 or 3 hours, though, I do get up and stretch and move, and this is something I think that society has done this, right, where we do things on a time frame and a tight schedule, where the expectation is the completion of a task, and if you get up and go for a walk, you risk not completing your task. So what I would love to see people doing, because Milt, you nailed it, right? If you don't use it, you lose it. And I think it's critical that people understand that even in a workplace, if you can find a way to just move, to do 5 quick air squats, to stretch out, to go on the side of a counter and do push-ups, those motions, your joints do not get blood and nutrients to them if they don't move through a full range of motion. So that's what we're asking. That's what we want people to do. I mean, if you can at any point just break away to move through to anything, and then once your workday is over, you got to take care of yourself. And you nailed it with that, with the go for the walk. It doesn't need to be uh, high impact. And I think let's talk a little bit about goals, Milt,
Mm-hmm.
with you, is because I think, and I don't think it's wrong to have vanity be part of goals in the world. I know that I work out hard. I do high intensity intervals because I want a reaction from my body and an aesthetic from my body. But in the time frame that I'm doing high intensity intervals, if someone else just simply goes for a walk, we're both taking care of our health. I just prioritized high intensity
Mm-hmm.
for the aesthetic, and I think that might be something for you as well.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt. The thing I mean, of course, you want to get to a starting point, especially if you haven't worked out. The most important thing, as we always talk about, is getting started, doing something. But as you get started, you want to eventually start challenging yourself. Because what happens is, if you continue doing the same thing, your body gets used to it. So you're not challenging anymore. For yourself to get something out of it and get healthier and challenge your body, there's going to be a point where you have to get uncomfortable. If you're working out and you're always comfortable, you're able to have conversations, you're not really sweating, you're not really bent over a little bit, you're not getting that much out of it. You have to challenge yourself. As I just alluded to, you're going to start off, you need to start off easy, allow things to organically come to you. But as you start building up, as the weeks, as the days, as the months go on, you have to challenge yourself. You spoke of you're doing your interval working out. That's one of the greatest things you can do, because your heart is going up and down, up and down. If you continue doing the same thing, if you're just steady walking, your heart is like that. You're not getting that true experience, and you're not truly challenging yourself. But when you're challenging yourself, that heart is going up, you're feeling that blood flowing. That's when you're getting into that zone where you're really getting healthy and you're really getting that heart healthy.
Yeah, and that's what it is, right? It's making sure that your goal is heart health. Your goal is that physical well being, and then you just break it down from there, and you find the things that you love to do, you do them, and they make sure that it happens on a regular basis. Because I think that this is something I want to touch on right now, because when we go into workplaces, when we're talking about, you and I are going to be doing this. We've kind of decided that we're going to put a whole year into doing this to see if we can get people workouts they're loving to do. We're going to get some ideas on health, nutrition recipes and things like that. And we're going to be there to support people. And this, I guess I'm kind of making the announcement now as we're going is Milt and I are going to be doing this for a year where we're putting content out on the net to help and support and do these kind of things. But I think that something I really want people to understand is you take somebody like Milt Stegall, who has played sports his whole life, who, when he sprints, is naturally faster than everybody else. And you take somebody like me, who I love the martial arts. That was something where I can go out into my garage. I've got a heavy bag. I can kickbox just for the heck of it. I've got these sport and natural tendencies where I can easily get engaged into a physical activity that I love. And this is the thing, is if I'm not doing something physical, I get worked up and angry, right? Like it's like you're stealing something from me. So I understand that on the flip side to that, there are people that just have not found something that they click with. So what I like people to understand is you got to go out, try hiking, try walking, try biking, do these things where you find something that works for you, because if you want to see changes in your health, it's got to be consistent and it's
Yes.
got to be regular. Where, again, Milt Stegall has the ability to just pick up and sprint at an almost Olympic level. Not all of us have that. But the point is with with seeing change in the human body, and I think with where social media has gone, where I'll tune in and I'll be just like, oh man, I can't do parkour, and then I I actually tried parkour 6 or 7 years ago because I was like, well, if these guys could do it,
Right.
why can't I? And the first time I dropped down, I think it was only about 8 or 9 feet, and I tried dropping down and doing the whole thing. I was like, this is not for me.
Hmm.
But I was mad because I want to be standing around and just be able to do a backflip. That is something that I would love to be able to do. Um, and my roundabout point is that I think a lot of people look at a physique like yours, where they say that's how I want to look. But the problem is, the flip side to that is the things that drive you, the things where you find pleasure, the intensity that you work out at is not something that most people say that was fun. I feel great. And I think that point is to make that. But that doesn't mean every single one of us listening or wanting to get our health somewhere can't challenge ourselves, can't go on a hike that has a big uphill climb, can't jog a block or two once we get ready for it. But that's, getting started, right? Like that's something to go with.
Right, without a doubt. And I mean, you made some great points about, everyone has their own lane. We're all not going to be in the same lane when it comes to, what it takes for us to get healthy. We all have our different lanes. And especially when you start off, you should definitely be in the slow lane. You don't want to try to jump in the fast lane or the lane where everyone's going over the speed limit. You want to start off and pace yourself. That's for mental and for physical reasons or whatever. So, because mentally, you don't want to get discouraged. And you talked about it. You tried to go hardcore and you couldn't do it. And a lot of times people get discouraged and say, I'm not going to do this at all. But you want to start off where you can do something where you can succeed at, and then you're able to get through that, and then you start challenging yourself slowly, and you're starting slowly building up. But you want to start off in that area where you can succeed at something, that slow paced stuff, and then you gradually build up. That allows you to build that confidence, because if you do something and right away and you're not able to succeed, and I've talked to a lot of people where I was trying to do stuff that I saw other people doing and I couldn't do it, you shouldn't start there. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Start off, stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to, and then maybe later on you can get to those waterfalls. So, like we always talk about, the key is to start off doing something. We have to start somewhere, and everyone out there has to start somewhere.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Now, let's get to one of my favorite talking points. So, this is the thing. When you start a new program, you are going to be fired up and excited about it. You are going to be the king of your domain. You're going to
Yes.
have you're going to have the right foods in the house. You're going to have all of these things. You're going to have plans. You're going to book it in and schedule it in. But, and there's a but, at some point, if this is a new thing to you, you're going to fall off track.
Yes.
So this is, and this, Milt, I know is your specialty because I've seen you keep on track your whole life with just little blips. So how do you keep from when you've gotten off track, when you've made your goal was whatever it was, but then you've fallen off, and then because usually falling to the wayside becomes back to old habits. How do you get back on track without beating yourself up?
Well, I mean, the main thing is you have to create that mental toughness. That's where that mental toughness comes into place, where you say, okay, I know why I'm in this. I know this is going to be a long haul. I didn't get this unhealthy overnight, so I know it's going to take me more than overnight to get back to that healthy point I want to get to. If you can get that mental toughness, if you can get that mindset right there in your head, it definitely helps out. Another thing you can do is you can have some people around you who are trying to do the same things you're trying to do. If you have some individuals around you and you guys start off together and you're holding each other accountable, it goes a long way in reaching your goals. And even for me right now, and a lot of times right now, because of this pandemic, I have to work out by myself. Working out by myself, I've been able to do it, but it's tough because I'm used to having some people who are on the same level as me, and we're pushing each other, we motivate each other. It's not easy. But when you get people around you, when you have people around you who are on the same page as you guys are holding each other's hand, you're having these conversations, you're working out together. When somebody is about to fall, everyone else can lift that person up. It goes a long way in reaching your goals. So those two things, that mindset and having other people around you, that helps you out a lot when you are struggling. So try to incorporate those two things when you start working out or living a healthy lifestyle, and I promise it'll be a lot easier.
I promise that too. That is my number one thing is there's got to be anything you want to accomplish in life that's tough. You've got to have the support system and like-minded people around you. Otherwise, it's the hardest thing. And there's no point doing this alone. And that's one of the reasons that our focus on this is going to be the workplace wellness. And I think once we're done today's live stream, I'm going to have some more kinks to work out, and our favorite person, James McCormack, he's gonna walk me through exactly which buttons I pressed wrong for this, so that we can make sure that our focus is on that workplace wellness, because I think that's the strength of everything that we do is community, and I think
Right.
that that's something where when we do this and we do this well, you know, Milt, you and I are going to be giving people tips and tricks. We've got some videos coming from you doing your workouts and enjoying some of that. We've got some ideas in the kitchen. I'm actually right now, right after this, we're running to McMoney and the Eights here in Winnipeg because we're doing a renovation on our kitchen so that it looks. My wife wanted to renovate the kitchen so it looks nice when we make videos for this project. Right? But no, so the content's going to be coming. We're going to have this focus on the workplace because community, because having those people behind you is so critical. And it's something that I think, Milt, you and I have kind of resigned ourselves to figure that our job is to be coaches here on out, is to make sure people have the right information, the game plan, and then they go forward from there to teamwork it out. So last points, if there's anything you want to blast out to people before we get going. I think we've taken up enough of their lunchtime.
Yeah, well, I'm just so excited. I'm overjoyed that I'm able to, give back some of my knowledge to the greatest city in Canada, Winnipeg, the place that supported me so long. So I'm looking forward to providing some of this information, and hopefully everyone out there can take this information and literally run with it. We just want to make sure everyone continues moving, living that healthy lifestyle. So as your life goes on, there really aren't many ailments that you have to deal with. People say, well, I'm trying to live a good life now. I'm trying to work hard and provide for my family and have all this money. But if you're not healthy, all those things mean nothing. So your health is the most important thing you have. And we just want to make sure your health is at the top level.
That's right. We're going to do this again Wednesday. it's going to be a very similar interaction. And then starting in the new year, ladies and gentlemen watching, we are going to be having a ton more for you. There's going to be a lot of videos and content around exercise and ideas. I'm going to be taking back going on trail hikes, and I know I did it last year and the year before. I took a lot of time to go and get photographs, took the dogs on hikes. Our goal and what we're going to be doing is making sure that good information is in the hands of Manitobans, and that we're making the connections to ensure that there's a community. And again, like I say, the pandemic's got everybody a little twisted. So we're going to see if we can't get that good information out there, create that community. And if anyone wants to, it's fitcityproject.com. If you sign up, it is free. It's going to be there. And like I say, it's information based, because unfortunately we can't come and get our hands on people and push them out the door.
Not yet.
COVID
Not
and all,
yet.
but we'll be there as soon as we can. There will be some live events. They'll be getting people moving, and like I say, our mission here: good information, build the community, and have some fun doing it. Sounds good?
Sounds great.
All right, my friend. We'll talk soon. And everyone that joined us, thank you so much. I know,
You.
Milt, you can't see all the comments scrolling by.
No, I can't see it.
Yeah, I get to see it also. I'll go through some of those, and yeah, we'll take it from there. But much appreciated for everyone, and we'll see you Wednesday, or well, hopefully we see some names pop up on the website. Have a good one.
Take care.